All right. Hello, everybody. This is going to be our weekly recap. Each week, we're going to go ahead and do a recap of what happened over the week, transactions, games that happened, how the standings were affected, that type of thing. On top of that, there will also be we'll be look forward to next week. And joining me for this will be the coach of the Los Angeles Chargebugs, Justin.
Great to be here, Ian. Thanks for having me.
Yes, he will be my co-host for the entire season. How about we hop right into it this week with how the schedule shaked out for week 1?
Man, oh man. I got to tell you, there was a lot of surprises this week. Some who were favored to win won. Obviously like Caden over the rookie Roman, first year coach in Roman, going up against a seasoned veteran, stuff like that. But then, some of these games, you look at them and you're like, that did not go the way that we thought they'd go.
Yeah, and I think you had one that you really wanted to point out, actually, of this group.
It's the one that set the Pokemon Draft League Twitter boards on fire. And of course, it's the reigning two-time champion, the coach of the Dallas Steel Wings, David, falling to first-year head coach Hunter, leading his team, Planet of Annihilapes. Now, there's a lot to talk about in this game, Ian, but first of all, I just want to reinstate how heavy a favorite David was going into this game.
Yeah, Justin. It was crazy. He's won 2 straight leagues back to back. He has a very strong team this year. It's only gotten better, and this is not Hunter is not a favorite to win much this season. He was looking like the underdog all during the preseason through the draft, and this was real shock to everyone, I think.
On the committee of the power ratings, when you guys ranked the teams, David put Hunter's team at 16.
I believe
and then
he put
goes
it
in
at
there.
15, but yeah.
Did he put it at 15?
Yeah, I believe we all had it at 15, I believe.
15, and he goes in there, and he just blows it. Now,
and he was rated 3rd, I believe, if I remember
exactly. Yes, I think that sounds right.
In fact, it's a little awkward of a little drop there.
Listen, David. Once again, look, when you win 2 of these leagues back to back, that's a hard thing to do. All right. And he's looking for a three-peat, all right? We talked to him in interviews, and he's going in here, and he wants to win, all right? And he switched it up. He's got a completely different look than he has from the past 2 seasons. And in this game, everyone was looking at Iron Bundle, of course, because why wouldn't you?
I believe he even, during the analysis video, said that Freeze Dry was an absolute free win into this team, but apparently it wasn't,
He gets an instant kill right off rip at the top of the game with Iron Bundle, Landorus Incarnate, and then switches out and Zapdos Terra Steals. And now David, being a veteran coach, I guess he just wasn't prepared to adapt to the new rules of the Terra preview, and he didn't see it. He talked to him after the game, and he didn't know, so the Terra caught him off guard.
Yeah, just absolutely destroyed the Diancie, and then he just never really gained his footing back. The Gallade came in, cleaned up a bit, and then
he got a 4-1 lead. He had 4 Pokemon. He was up 3 Pokemon against this fool.
That's true. It's true.
And then he blows it.
He did blow it. But
now, however, it is hard to say he blew it. I have the final 4 moves of the game right in front of me. He misses a Power Whip. He gets hit by a Stone Edge, misses a Hydro Pump, and then gets hit by another Stone Edge. Game over.
That is a pretty brutal string of RNG, especially considering that in this game also Hunter ended up with 3 crits out of the 12 moves that he clicked, giving him a 25% crit ratio this thing, which is incredible. Five times that of the normal crit ratio, and by far the most lucky crit game this league has ever seen.
Now listen, it's easy to look at a game like this and try and overreact and stuff, but listen, I'm just telling you, all over the internet, I'm seeing it. All right, people used to call him Dynasty Dave after he won the last season, and now it's hashtag Dynasty Dave is dead all over Twitter.
David is a fraud, is what I've been hearing.
That's what they've been saying. I'm not gonna put my 2 cents into it, but I think it's pretty clear that something needs to change within that organization.
Yeah, I think I'm hoping to see them bounce. It's real early in the season. I'm thinking he'll bounce back. He always has historically started the seasons off rough. I think
That's
he's
true.
0 for 4 on first games of the season, so this is kind of normal for him.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's been tough.
But is there a game that you wanted to dive into from this first week?
There is, actually. And I wouldn't normally spotlight my own game, but this season I want to actually spotlight it for the first week. And me versus you, actually.
Look at that.
Yeah, me versus Justin. The coach of the Phoenix Ferrets versus the coach of the Los Angeles Chargebug. This game was really, really fun to play in, and I imagine watch. Everybody had very nice things to say about you. Even going in knowing that I was the favorite, they believed that this was a very strong showing from a first-time coach. Yeah, what did you think about this game while you were playing it?
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of focus was needed. I knew that I was coming in an underdog. At the same time, I knew that you were not gonna underestimate me. I knew I wasn't gonna catch you off like you're just I'm not gonna try too hard this season because this is his first time playing. So I knew it was gonna be a tough fight no matter what. I knew I was getting your best, and man, I did think I made some pretty good reads, nothing game changing, but afterwards when the dust settled, it was clear that there were some gameplay mistakes that I need to iron out. I think my team played well. I would never blame my players for anything. They played their heart out. And that's what I love about them is they tried. They want to win. That's what they want. I mean, Darkrai came to me after the game and he was like, Coach, that was so much fun. But I can't wait for us to win because I know it's going to come. And so I think just less switching on my part, more focused moves, and I think we'll get it done.
Yeah, I was very impressed with how the team played. It definitely worked out quite well for you. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what you can do in the future. And yeah, let's take a look at the how the dust settled after week 1 and the standings of what we are looking at for this going into week 2. We see right away that why not us? Titus, top of the league with 5-0.
Great game from him. Great showing.
Yeah. It was a good showing, and it's showing on the standings as well. We have a 4-way tie for second with myself, Phoenix Ferrets, Houston Haunters, Driftville Rangers, and the 6 Dittos, all up in that second place option, with followed by Vincent and Chris, and Planet Annihilates. I'll tell you, this is not how I expected the standings to look after week 1.
I mean, man, some dark horses emerging perhaps early this season.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see how things shake out. We'll have a lot more on this segment as the season progresses. Still
Absolutely.
early, but yeah, let's take a look at our next segment here, which is going to be the MVP race for the season. At the moment, top of the leaderboard for Pokemon, it's Hisuian Zoroark, Justin. What do you think?
Man, I got to tell you, Hisuian Zoroark, it came out with a chip on its shoulder. It really did. All right, it came to play. All right, it's not the highest priced Pokemon, but it came and it played like it should be.
Yeah, it heard what I said during the analyses, and it absolutely came out with 4 kills in the first week, which, is far beyond what I expected, and, I hope
Absolutely.
It does well for the rest of the season. This is a very cool Pokemon that I think will
Now
be
listen.
exciting.
Absolutely. Now, there's a couple of... I got my top 3... I know it's early in the season, but I got my top 3 MVPs right now.
Mm-hmm. What do you
I think that I got Heatran. All right, I think that Pokemon is scary. I think it's priced pretty low, but I think he can absolutely destroy another team's lineup. And I think going throughout the season, it's going to be pretty scary on the Phoenix Ferrets.
Absolutely.
And then
We're excited to have him. He was
yes,
a phenomenal
great
pickup.
pickup.
And, he's had a history of being very strong, not only in this league, but, in Pokemon altogether.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
we're very happy to have him being a Furret and a Terra captain for the Furrets as well.
Which just adds another completely terrifying twist to him. And then, of course, coming in second place, you can't have an MVP list and leave out Urshifu's Single Strike. This Pokemon's scary. This Pokemon comes to play, and he means business. All right,
Absolutely destroyed the opposing team last week.
Crazy.
It was...
and somehow on a team as good as the Houston Haunters, which is just stacked floor to ceiling with talent, he somehow manages to stick out above the rest. That shows you the talent, the level that he's playing at in these games.
Exactly, and I think something that's even crazier about that team that I want to mention is that we didn't even see the ace. The first round draft pick didn't even hit the field in that game.
Didn't even show up.
He didn't even show up. Still 4-0. That is a terrifying team, Justin, and I'm definitely not looking forward to playing it this season.
I'm not looking forward to playing it this week, let me tell you. All right. And then, of course, actually, I got a sneaker at my number one. All right. Blew up onto the scene, not Mega Tyranitar, the number one pick. Tyranitar, base Tyranitar, came out 4 kills against the Dallas Steel Wings in that week 1 game. Just completely picked apart that team that David was so confident about. But with all these flyers and all these different types, Tyranitar was able to anchor the team. And I think looking forward, he's going to be pretty good going forward.
I certainly hope so. I love this Pokemon, and I really like it. I'm a little concerned that the spread will be a little tough, but...
Oh my gosh.
I am excited to see where it goes. I do wonder if his team can really support this thing for the rest of the season, but I do believe that it's an incredible Pokemon.
However, I know greatness when I see greatness, and Tyranitar has greatness.
Speaking of that match, I'm going to mention who I think was the MVP of that match. And, on the other side, Zarude was incredible in terms of the MVP race. And I think he has to be mentioned. This thing was a threat all game, and he could have closed the game out had he hit the Power Whip. And I think, coming into the season, he might hit the Power Whip. It's 80%. It'll happen sometime.
One of these times. Listen, the name of the game this week was not the tops, not the top of the tops, not the top pointers. It was these 15, 14, 16 pointers. These were the guys, these were the players that were making the difference in these games. And Zygarde's one of those. And I would not be surprised if next season his point value gets raised.
Absolutely. We really hope to see some more movers and shakers. The other one that I want to mention for this week, I think it has to be Dragapult on a new team this season with the Orlando Magikarp taking it from David and the Dallas Steel Wings for the first time, and man really showed up with a new coach and took 3 kills. It was incredible, and truly showing why he is a round 1 draft pick every time, Justin. Every time.
Absolutely. Yeah. I can't believe that he fell all the way to 3. All right, that's he's shown up in leagues prior, and he's showing up again.
Chris was 2.
Wait,
Chris was
2. He
fell 2. Okay, well that's not as crazy then. But otherwise, we'll move on to the transactions for the week. And there's a lot that we have to go over from this week.
Oh man.
Wow. So let's take a look. We have first, we'll talk about Zach's transactions first here. We have Zach dropping the Grafaiai, adding Magnezone, making Magnezone a Terra Captain as well, dropping Registeel, adding Muck, dropping Arctozolt, and adding Cinccino, and that's what we got for Zach. What do you think of these, Justin? Any of these stand out to you, or do they feel like they're just moves?
Let me tell you, Zach needed some diversification. All right, his team after the draft, it was too many flyers. It was too busy. Not enough different types. He wasn't covering himself, and so I think these moves that he made all really helped him sort of round out his team. And I know week one didn't go exactly how he wanted to. There was some, misplaying, but he was going up against a really great team led by a great coach. So but I think going forward, I think he could definitely improve a lot.
Yeah, I really look forward to seeing what Magnezone can do on this team, and I think Muck, it really shores up the fairy weakness that they used to have.
Absolutely.
So I think these are great moves. Nobody had any influence in them that wasn't, Zach, obviously.
No, it was 100% came from his dome, and I'm proud of him for that.
Yeah. Then we also have the next one, the actual person that was playing against Zach. We got Aiden, the Houston Haunters, dropping Rotom, adding Boltund, and dropping Smeargle, and replacing it with a Terra Captain, Hisuian Avalugg. What do you think of this, Justin? I think, personally for me, this team is so strong that I don't know if these Pokemon will ever hit the field.
That's the true side of greatness, and that was the first thing that came to my mind, is, Hisuian Avalugg, he could easily be your sixth man on almost any other team in this league, but he joins the Houston Haunters because he wants to get that chip. He wants to protect that legacy. But I'm not sure if he's going to get any playing time. But if he does, I'm sure that Aiden would be able to cook up a nice little setting for him to be involved.
Yeah, I think as a Terra Captain, he could maybe do some physical walling, get some rapid spins off, maybe pick up a kill or two, but I don't know if he'll ever cut. I think it's tough out here on the Houston Haunters to get playing time with a lineup this stacked. So. And let's move on to Titus and Why Not Us's transactions of Alolan Ninetales being dropped for Forretress, and Terra Captain switch up from Slowking to Sandy Shocks.
I mean, I don't know how effective these transactions are for this team. It could really go either way. Fortress had some nice, defense to the team, but I guess Slowking, he wanted to get out of that speed tier that he was kept in with that Pokemon.
Yeah, I will say though, I do love the Sandy Shocks Terra, and I do believe in it. For both of these, they're actually former Phoenix Furrets from season 1. And Sandy Shocks really put up numbers for me with 17 kills in that season. So, I mean, he hasn't been able to replicate his success after that, but maybe the Why Not Us can make it work. Maybe bring back the greatness.
That's the thing, right? That's the thing with all these Pokemon. You gotta look at them and say they saw success under a different organization, right? Under a different team format. So, but at what point do you say you got to be better, or is it up to the team, right? You got to be better, or does the team got to be better? And Sandy Shocks has a chance here to prove himself.
Yeah. For sure. Now let's move on to some very significant transactions. We've had just these last couple have been a couple here and there, just some small changes. This one is a whole team rebuild from the San Francisco Arcaniners. We have the dropping of Kieran Black, adding of Walking Wake, dropping of Mew, adding of Chiyu, dropping of Melodic, and adding Torkoal as a Terra Captain. Dropping of Regirock, adding Venusaur as a Terra Captain, and dropping of Mega Manectric and adding Runerigus to round out the roster. This adds a whole Sun team into the format. I believe now we have all 4 weathers represented in the league. So Sun is pretty strong. And, what do you think?
Ian, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If your name starts with Reggie, you don't belong in this league. You belong in Shanghai. So I am glad that the Arcaniners dropped Regirock for Venusaur, another Pokemon that can actually get something done. All right, he works as a team. He works in the Sun terrain, and the Sun team up is just going to be so great with him on it. And Regirock does not deserve a spot on this roster. So I'm glad he's out of here.
I have to agree. I don't believe Regirock really added much to the team, and Venusaur, I think, under the sun is a potential threat to a lot of those top tier teams. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah,
Look out for him. Look out for him.
So I'm excited to see how this shakes out. I also believe that Kieran Black was pretty fraudulent So I am happy to see it go onto the back into the free agency pool and picking up Walking Wake, which I believe is one of the strongest dragons in the format.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking forward to it. But in the end, we don't know. This is a full team rebuild. We have no idea how this is going to end up. Hopefully, we'll come back to this in the future just to check in on what Ethan has cooked here.
Absolutely, I'm excited.
Yep. And then let's finish it off with another team that had did a pretty decent sized rebuild. Caden with the Driftville Rangers, dropping Latias after his incredible Week 1 performance.
Man.
And adding Deoxys Defense, dropping Mega Banette, adding Mandibuzz, dropping Wigglytuff, and adding Sunflora, dropping Honchkrow, and adding Alolan Vulpix. I'm going to start off by saying I think there might be some player safety concerns here. We just saw Wigglytuff in the last game explode himself, and then he's being dropped under mysterious circumstances. Justin, I think there might be something else going on here.
I would never be one to accuse an organization of doing something in maniacal intent towards one of its players. However, there is something a little fishy under the hood there, I think. That's all I'm going to say.
It's not a good look, I'll say that much.
Absolutely.
I think that maybe they should have waited a week or two before you just dump the body off so quickly.
Maybe.
But, otherwise, I think this looks fine, I guess. Yeah.
You see, this is...
It is surprising to see Latias go after a pretty impressive performance in Week 1. But,
listen, much like Nico Harrison dropping Luka Doncic after a great performance for all the seasons he was in the NBA and sending him off to the Lakers after the year after taking him to the finals. Coach Caden here taking one of the, if not the strongest Pokemon on his team offensively, send him to the way in replacement for a defensive look. Now, I don't know how this is going to look. Coach Caden clearly has a plan, and I guess we're going to see if it shakes out.
Yeah, I mean, after all, defense wins championships, Justin. Defense wins championships.
That is what I've always said.
Yeah. All right. So now with the transactions out of the way here, let's circle back around to our schedule for Week 2. And let's do a quick rundown of what the matches are going to be. We have Vincent versus Roman, Chris versus Alex, David versus Caden, Ethan versus Jacob, Josh versus Hunter, Zach versus Titus, me versus Kyler, and Justin versus Aiden.
That's some good matchups here.
We got a lot of good matchups. So what would you think? What would you like to start with on this this list here?
I'm going to start with two first-year coaches. I'm gonna focus in on this Federal for Alligators led by Vincent going up against Big Stepper led by Roman. Now, in these preseason power ratings that you did for the teams, Federal for Alligators dead last, number 16, and Big Stepper, Roman's team, finished as number 4. Very, very different assembled teams. However, Week 1 could not have gone more different for these two teams. Vincent in Week 1 comes out on top against Alex. Now, I've been hearing people on the internet say that Alex was throwing the game and Alex should have won. Should have doesn't matter. Did he win or did he not?
I am a little concerned about the gambling allegations, though, with throwing the game, but, well, that's not
that's not here or there, okay? That's not here or there, all right? Whether Alex pulled a shoeless Joe Jackson is out of our knowledge and our control, okay? What matters is Vincent won last week, and Roman got just manhandled by Caden's Driftville Rangers. Listen, I'm very excited for this matchup because now we get to see these two rookie coaches get to try to make a name for themselves. I think that this will be interesting. I think this will be a better look into their play styles and how they like to organize and run their team. I think that there's two key Pokemon, one from each team, that I'm looking forward to in this game. those are going to be Pelipper on the Feraligators, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pelipper, what a showing, week 1. 3 kills, okay?
Absolutely. A complete surprise, too, from a low-tier Pokemon. This was
Absolutely.
a late pick in the draft, and or a third-round pick, I
9-pointer.
suppose, but it was it was a surprise to see this thing pull so much damage in week 1. And, let's see if it can keep it up throughout the season.
Absolutely. It was week 1 of fluke, okay? And it's time for Pelipper to step up and say either, I'm here, I am a force in this league, or am I just, every now and again I'm gonna pop 3 kills. All right, consistency is what we're looking for in this league, and Pelipper has a chance to prove himself. Can he be the next Golisopod from last season? All right, where Coach David was able to single-handedly raise that Pokemon's point value like 2 or 3 points in between seasons. All right, and then the other one,
sure.
The other Pokemon, man, oh man, I can't believe we have to talk about this guy. But Great Tusk, all right, 19 points.
What a menacing Pokemon for sure on the other side.
Absolutely.
It is tough for his team to deal with, especially since Great Tusk does get electric coverage for this Pelipper.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no safe switch-in for this team to deal with the Tusk.
And, you know what else that means? There's no excuses anymore, Great Tusk. I'm talking to you. No more excuses, all right? You're a talented player. You're a great player, but you're not a winner, all right? Great Tusk got 1 kill last game. That's not going to do it, all right? 1 kill in week 1, that's not going to do it, okay? Last season, this Pokemon, 18 points worth, had 3 kills all season. That is tied for least among the 18 points last season. 3 kills. You can't do that. I keep hearing, this Pokemon's so great. He's so powerful. Well, it's time for him to show up and prove that he is powerful. Show how much talent he has, because otherwise, I'm just sitting here being like, where is that? I don't see it, okay? Joel Embiid, all right? I don't want him to just turn into this guy that everyone talks about and then just fades away into obscurity. All right, he has the talent, and he has to prove himself.
For sure. I think as his coach last season, though, I wasn't really looking to get him kills, but he was more of the role player on that team. But
that's what they always say.
I do think that this matchup will be interesting. I do think that Roman has a distinct advantage. I think Thundurus looks very powerful here. It's going to be very difficult for Vincent to deal with, especially in the rain that he likes setting. Giving Thundurus some additional attack power is kind of tough. But let's move on to another matchup that we have going.
I'm excited about this one.
Super, I think this is a highly anticipated matchup this season.
Mm-hmm.
And it always is, because this has been the championship match of last season and season 2. We have David, the coach of the Dallas Steel Wings, versus Caden, the coach of the Driftville Rangers. Man, every season these two play, it is always so much fun to watch. And
absolutely.
I can't see it being any different this time. I think, again, David needs to figure it out after week 1. I'm hoping for a great bounce-back story here against a very strong Caden team. Listen.
Coach Caden. Everyone talks him up. He's a great coach. All right, puts his teams in great places to win, but you can't go 0-2 in the finals. You just can't do that. So I see this team. I see them led by this coach. And all I'm thinking is, what can he do? He hasn't proven himself. All right? What has he done to make me go, yeah, he's the guy? All right? This game will do a lot to convince people that he's not just a really good coach. Okay? This will push him into that next tier. But right now, I don't know how I feel about him. I think he's overrated. I think he could maybe make a really good assistant coach. But right now, I don't know. I don't know if he's proven that guy.
Yeah, I think think this is a great opportunity for him to really show what he is capable of this season. And he's got a squad to do it, but can he convert? And hopefully we get to see one of these two convert for once. David has shown that he can do it in the past. After week 1, he's got to prove himself to bounce back, and Caden's got to prove himself to, be able to get to the finals in the first place. So I think there's a lot of work to do, and this will be a great match to do it. Now, we're going to wrap up here for this week. Next week, we'll have lots to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And any closing thoughts before we go, Justin?
I'm just really excited for this next week. We had some predictions put out by the coaches in the league, little coaches poll, and none of them were really close. All of them were landslide votes. So I'm interested to see if anyone's gonna be surprised this week.
Yeah, we'll see you guys again next week, and good luck.
Godspeed.